To the left. No, too much left. Stop!
Sparrow 1 to Puffin 2, do you copy? We have a code red down here.
Darcy, I told you. While Jarvis is being defragged.
This line is for emergency use only.
Please, Sparrow 1 on the comms, boss. And it's a total code red. The caterers are here, and all I'm seeing are cheese cubes and carrot sticks. Where's the showmanship? Where are the Kogi buns?
Darcy, you want to get college credit for this? Listen to me. This Avengers Holiday Gala is not my first rodeo.
Fine.
10 to the 4, Puffin 2.
Wait, why am I a puffin? And a second puffin at that. Who's the first puffin?
Bernard in accounting.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Robert.
And this is Panels to Pixels podcast, and we're continuing our spoiler full podcast of What If Season 2. And then on this particular podcast, we're covering episodes 3 and 4 of What If Season 2. So with that, we're going to move right along into What If Season 2, Episode 3, What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas? And the synopsis for this particular episode, which is so funny because I love what Marvel does with these little short, quick ones. They say, when Avengers Tower is attacked during the holiday party, Happy Hogan must prove his hero chops, which he does.
Pretty much it.
Which he does. Overall thoughts and general thoughts that you have of the particular episode, Rob. What do you have?
When I saw that they were doing kind of a riff on, Die Hard, it definitely intrigued me. And then the fact that they had so many voice actors. I mean, Sam Rockwell was phenomenal as always. Yeah. You had what's her name that plays Darcy?
Oh yeah,
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings, yep.
Yeah, so Kat Dennings. They had
Colby Smulders was in it too.
Colby Smulders was in it.
Yep.
So they had a lot of great. A lot of the original actors in there. I mean, it's too bad that they didn't have Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. But other than that, I believe they did have Mark Ruffalo. They did have Chris Evans at the very end, didn't they? Chris Evans has never come out in any What If.
Really?
No.
That guy sounded just like Chris Evans in my... Oh, no, not Chris Evans. I'm thinking Chris Hemsworth. Jeez.
Oh, no. Chris Hemsworth was... he came out. He didn't come out in the first season.
Okay.
But yeah, they had Jeremy Renner. They had a lot of the people they just, Jon Favreau was freaking great in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I thought it was actually really cool. It was of course silly.
Yeah.
But it was in the spirit of what I think
Christmas.
Spirit of Christmas, but I think it's also in the spirit of what Marvel does.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there were a few people online that just hated this episode, but I don't know, I enjoyed it.
Really, I enjoyed it so much, and not for nothing. Obviously this was geared for Christmas because it premiered December 24th in 2023.
Right,
mind you, we're covering this. We're recording January 6th. Everybody, yeah, we're ahead. We're a bit late, but we're trying to move ahead in the sense of pacing, so that way a lot of people are not really watching those movies and every day and then listening to a podcast. They're probably going to be like, I'm going to listen to this later. So that's my attitude, is like, I want to cover this later on and talk about it and have fun later. But this came out and I did watch it on December 24th when it came out. I really did enjoy it, and I'm a huge Die Hard fan. My friend Ben is a huge Die Hard fan. We both think of it as a Christmas movie. Though
right.
A lot of people out there, there's a consensus of people out there saying that it's not a Christmas movie. And there are those people like me and Ben that say it is a Christmas movie.
Well, it's an action film that takes place
during Christmas.
During Christmas.
Yeah.
But, it falls under both. It's an action movie, and it's, it could be watched for Christmas. Yeah. It's not really geared as a Christmas. It wasn't never really meant as a Christmas movie. But I think
neither was Gremlins.
Well,
Gremlins happens on Christmas.
Yes, it does. But those are movies that are just okay. They keep since they come out around the holidays, so people just decide they want to see it on the holidays.
No. The kid gets the Mogwai on Christmas Eve by his father, and then by Christmas Day, it turns into a gremlin. So,
right, but then
so-
that's supposed to be some kind of like horror film type of thing.
Yeah,
You
a Joe
but
Dante horror film,
Right, but
during
what
Christmas.
Right, but what I'm saying is that because it's such a cult favorite, people are always going to do it during
Yeah,
whatever
during
the holiday
the
is.
holiday
Right.
as a holiday movie because it's
Correct.
a Christmas reference.
It's
Just
like a
just like
Nightmare.
they do. Yeah,
Yeah, a
well,
Nightmare,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's two things. It's a Christmas movie. It's a Halloween movie too.
Oh yeah. My friend Jamie Dimmick and I get into an argument about that. She'll be like, "No, it's a Christmas movie." I'm like, "No, it's a Halloween movie." No, it's a Christmas movie. No, it's a Halloween.
It's actually both, really.
it is both, but you could watch it at both times,
Right.
Because it's prepping us for it. But the funny thing is that I just really enjoyed this more than I did the first episode of What If that we did season 2, where Nebula pretty much played the part of Decker in Blade Runner. And both Sydney and myself really not too much into
I don't
that.
see how that was a Decker. It looked like the Blade Runner world, but I don't know. I don't see how she played the Decker role.
The way that it was presented, and a lot of people have been speculating and looking at it as that she was in the Decker role and investigating a murder in the future and things of that nature. It was meant to have the motif. So it was that whole conspiracy investigative work.
Right. No, I understand that. And definitely, it had the Blade Runner vibe.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. As a matter of fact, that's one of my favorite episodes this season was that
Oh, okay.
because of that Blade Runner vibe, because it had just that cyberpunk look to it, which is something that you just don't see Disney doing.
No, that is true. They're using motifs. And I stated it before in the last podcast when we covered What If season 2, episodes 1 and 2. And I said it to Sydney, saying Marvel's doing in their animated universe for Disney Plus with this What If universe to do what the New 52 did back in comics years ago with the cover art, doing film covers.
Right.
Now, mind you, in the issue, they didn't have it as the story plot, but the cover art on the comics was literally a poster from, granted, specific films in history. Like you had a Westworld one, and you had a Terminator one.
Okay.
And things of that nature. So instead of doing that, they went the next level with the animated series, and then actually revolving their story arc within the What If series and putting that into the story as like a kind of a plot, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
we get that a lot. We get that out of this one and the next one too, by the way. We get this out of episodes 3 and 4. And I'll go into 4 when we talk about that. But this one I really did enjoy because I'm a huge Die Hard fan, and I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah. When I started seeing these shows, that's the one thing I noticed. Are they trying to pattern these after different movies out there? Because, yeah, there was the first one that looked like Blade Runner.
Mhm.
The second one, which was the one with Peter Quill.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
was like
I
the
don't-
new Avengers for its time, but
Yeah,
back in
but-
1988.
Right. That didn't reflect any movie that I've ever seen or
Nope,
anything
it
like
didn't.
that.
Nope.
But this one did. I think episode 4 did.
Mhm.
But then the rest of the whole season did not really do that. It was just
No.
like it was just kind of like 2 or 3, and then that was it.
Yeah.
I thought that
somebody
was gonna-
being a little bit creative, I think.
Yeah, I thought that was just going to be like an ongoing theme that all these episodes were going to kind of touch upon a classic movie or something like that.
No, but with each season of any of these shows, apparently there is a theme and something that revolves around it. Like with What If season 1, the hidden story plot that continued on from episode 1 all the way until the very end was literally about I guess the the stones,
Right.
and with Uber Ultron that's out there, and then you got the Avengers of the Multiverse or Guardians of the Multiverse at that point.
Yeah, it definitely revolved around the multiverse, which it's been a big thing in
Yeah.
the last year or so.
But with this one, it was something that's underlying, but you don't get to about maybe halfway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, What If has always been about the multiverse. No matter,
Yes.
even in the comic books, and even though they might not say that it's a multiverse, but every time a What If comic book comes out,
Mm-hmm.
think of it as, all right, that's in that universe.
Yeah, but we've known in time though with comics, with the Marvel comics, with What If, they've made those What Ifs canon in
Right.
regular comics, and it wouldn't be with the way things are moving forward too within the MCU. That could be, the What If animated series could be canon to the MCU itself, and I'm looking forward to possibly in the near future, if we do get it, where worlds collide and universes collide too, where we get like a Captain Carter, let's say, or get the Super Doctor Strange that we got that goes through multiple universes, that Dark One, things of that nature. I would love to see something like that, or an alternate version of Black Widow, maybe a different version, or maybe even bring back a version of Tony Stark, and they could easily bring back RDJ back as Iron Man for one more.
I don't think he's ever going to come back for that.
I know that's wishful thinking on my part. I just love Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal as Tony Stark and Iron Man, but hopefully, or maybe we'll probably get the guy from what was it, Mad Men, who played Howard Stark, the guy that was in that. I'm forgetting the name of the
You're
actor.
talking about oh damn it, John Hamm?
No, not John Hamm.
No, you're talking about the one who played Howard Stark.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. He's
He plays Tony's father, and
Right.
I would love to see him in an alternate version of him in the Iron Man suit at one point, and that would be interesting. But that's
it would. It's just that that actor is
he's older, but he's not that much older.
he's up there in age now.
They could make a lot of things happen. Trust me. Look what they do with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, but
That's Kurt Russell. I know.
I think they'd rather get a new actor than you're just trying to that being said, there's so many what ifs, what can or what should Marvel and Disney do when it comes to the MCU.
That's true. But let's stick to this particular episode. All right. Let's talk about this one. So in the very beginning, we get the Watcher in his Yuletide story take, and we see the Avengers in battle during Christmas in the beginning. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was great. And then we got the Happy helping with Avengers Tower with the hat with the Iron Bots. Happy is like up there trying to guide them.
Right.
Then there was bickering with Darcy about his codename, which is she goes, he's Puffin too. And apparently there is a Puffin one that is Bernard in accounting. So apparently Happy is lower tiered, even though apparently Darcy is a professional intern at this point in her career.
Yes, Darcy's thing is not to work. That's her whole thing. In everything that she's done for the MCU, she's always been the intern. And just like Maria Hill said, is like, have you ever had a real job? And she's like, no.
Yeah, well, which is interesting too, because she got her doctorate, and we know this through WandaVision, because that's why they brought her in WandaVision.
Right.
So that version of her was a doctor at that point. because she had the backing of
Right. So that means that in this what if she still hasn't gotten her doctorate.
yeah,
or
she
something.
she just keeps moving forward as an intern in all
Right.
different facets of life, whether it be through Avengers or anything else. It's funny how Happy could she goes, well, you could also be known as Turkey 1, Flamingo 6, or Parakeet.
Oh, this is what he said to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what she said to him. That Darcy had said to Happy is what he could also be known as.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then apparently it leads on to the reason why we have all this mischievous issues. Jarvis is being shut down for maintenance, and Maria Hill mentions that, and she's also known as Eagle One in this,
Right.
which is I think that's a Spaceball reference too, by the way.
Eagle One.
Yeah.
I don't recall that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're. I'm not sure whatever they're trying to. I mean, whatever they're. If there was like little Easter eggs in there that
Yeah.
possibly they are, but it's something that I might have to research later and see if like, oh,
And have fun with it,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Apparently the culprit behind this is Justin Hammer. He plays the Hans Gruber of the episode.
correct.
So he breaks in with his group and he wants to cause devastation and destroy everything. And within Stark Towers at this point, because this is supposed to be long ago. This is like before the Age of Ultron, I think. It's when the Avengers were at their peak at that point.
I believe this is probably again. Since this is kind of another universe.
Mhm.
This is probably after the first Avengers.
The first one.
The first one, correct?
Yeah, so that would be like after Avengers, before Age of
hold
Ultron.
on, no. Yeah, because I don't know. That's a good question because those robots that he made,
With the Iron Brigade or whatever it
the
was.
Iron Brigade was introduced in Avengers 2.
Yeah, Age of Ultron. Yeah.
In Age of Ultron. So this is probably right before that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I found it funny that, they made Justin Hammer the evil doer within this.
Well, he is a prick anyway. I mean, he's. Let me tell you, Sam Rockwell just does a phenomenal job portraying Justin Hammer, and he's just great to look at. And he's a fun character because of Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always enjoyed that. And a lot of people don't like Iron Man 2. I do. I don't know why people hate
It's here's what I would say, which is funny because a lot of the movies in those first 10 years, there were some good ones and then there was some okay ones, right?
Yeah, like the Dark World.
Yeah, exactly. But because these characters were being put on screen for the very first time,
Mhm.
And we grew up with these characters, I think that's why we could kind of say, okay, you know what? It wasn't great, but I'll still accept it.
Yeah.
After 10 years, once you start giving us crap, now we're going to be even harder on, the whole thing. But that being said, Iron Man 2 was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I do favor that more than I do Iron Man 3. And a lot of people go, oh, but it had this whole time. And it's like, oh, you get to see. I'm like, honestly, the one thing that gets me, and because I'm a New Yorker at heart and I love the World's Fair, the showcase of the New York's World's Fair in Queens.
Right.
And that they utilize that. And I love that for the fact that the reason why that happened too, honestly, and this is a little bit sidelined everybody, and I know I'm digressing and moving away. It has to do with Jon Favreau and his love. And that's where he grew up, was within Queens. So the park is still in disarray. A lot of people want to keep it up, and that's the original World's Fair from 1964. And I've visited there many a times, and I love going there. And they've had it a yearly thing where people would gather try to get something to restore the park to where it was during that World's Fair time. There's still a lot of monuments there. There's a whole museum there. And the thing is, it doesn't get its just desserts. It should have been kept up with, and people should have been donating and making it a landmark, but they didn't.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, those World's Fairs were one of those things where
it was a one-off for every time that they came out too.
correct, and they did it so many years, and then after that they stopped doing them because it was supposed to be about innovation, and it was supposed to be about
Yeah.
showing things that are
Progress.
happening in progress and different things in different cultures and all these things, and it's something that I think Disney screwed that up by having Epcot Center where you can have,
Yeah, now they're stuck in time with that Epcot Center, unfortunately.
I don't know, but it's just something that, no one does anymore. I mean, I wish they did, but I don't know what innovations are they going to show that we would not be like, to us, it would be like, oh, okay. Like we wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you're going to show us a flying car that actually does fly. Oh, wait, they did that in Captain America. All right. But I digressed a bit, but that's my whole love for that particular movie and the reason why I have a love for it. But the thing is that we got that out of that, and Favreau has been a key proportionate of or component for Marvel Disney throughout that time, because he started it with Iron Man 2, and then it progressed. So
Right.
he keeps doing the Happy Hogan voice. He still will come in as Happy Hogan in specific films because he is pretty much, if you think about it, a Disney Marvel employee himself, even though he's more involved with Star Wars at this point now, later on. But I'm just loving the fact that we got more Favreau in this. I just love the fact that, Happy is stuck on the top floor alone after the Iron Brigade leave him to save everything before Justin Hammer infiltrates the whole building,
Right.
Avengers Tower. Justin wants the formula that will make him the next Captain America, and he divulges his evil plan, saying he wants Hulk's blood. And this is where we're set forth within it, and Happy's up there, and he has to try to protect the Hulk's blood.
Right.
And it's hilarious. Do you have anything about that whole thing? Because there was a lot of key moments.
My question is, how the hell did he know that, they had Hulk's blood there?
That is a good question.
It just, it's like, just a little side thing that they should have said or something, but like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go get Hulk's blood. Well, how did you know that?
Yeah.
So that wasn't very well explained.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, and the whole thing with Happy, I've always found funny that character, because Happy is just basically the comic relief of
and
lot
this
of
one
Marvel.
he stepped up. He stepped up as his own character.
But he's still comic relief. It's not like, it's not like all of a sudden he becomes this, serious, guy or something like that, or, superhero type or action guy. But which is, it's what makes him charming, I think. I think what makes the character very charming.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is like, wow, you, with all the shit that you go through, man, I hope they're paying him really good. I really do. And it's like, dude, what is your paycheck? What stock options do you have? What's going on there?
That is true.
Because I would have been like, dude, I'm out of here, man. This fucking place is too dangerous.
I do it for Tony, man.
Yeah.
I love how Happy is working with Maria Hill. We get all the talk and dialogue from Die Hard from Happy during that time, because it's her playing the Reginald Val Johnson version. Her and Darcy pretty much trade off on that.
Right.
So I thought it was pretty cool. He clumsily drops his walkie and gets it with his two fingers at that key moment, which is so funny and so cool. And he keeps looking for the Hulk blood. and he sees the confetti arrow and he gets the Hulk's blood at a certain point. I forgot if that confetti arrow came into place later on. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it did. It
Okay.
definitely did. Yeah, that actually happened almost towards the end, where all of a sudden the arrow explodes and you see confetti everywhere.
Okay. So it was a little foreshadowing with the confetti arrow that I completely forgot about. I just love the fact that he accidentally injects himself with the Hulk blood. And through over the time that the goons, like Hammer's goons, are going after him, he slowly hulks up. He's got the leg first, the other leg, oh no, and then the arms, and then the last.
I'm just wondering why why it took so long to transform him, though.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, you got injected not with just a little bit, but with a shitload of blood, and you're like, okay, you should have just raged out right away. And it started with a leg, then another leg, then an arm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was wondering about that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I enjoyed the episode, but there's a lot of shit that I nitpicked at because I was like, wait a minute. Go back there.
Yeah, I know. I just love the fact that Happy winds up calling all the other Avengers. He is trapped and still turning from the Hulk blood at that point.
Right.
First, he calls Natasha, so we get. Oh, I'm forgetting her name. Who voices her?
Natasha Romanoff?
Yeah.
Oh, Lake Bell.
Lake Bell. Yeah.
Right.
And she's like in the midst of her own thing and she can't handle it. She's being held at gunpoint by 17 Hydra guys at the same time. Then he calls Tony, and Tony is playing Santa.
It was a Hydra assassin. It was a ballerina who was an assassin. But she was in a. I guess they were both in a. Because remember that the character of Black Widow was also, I think, a ballerina.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess she was in the show, and they were on the top part of the stage, where below them is where the performance was going on. And when Happy calls her, she was being held at gunpoint by an assassin that killed 18 people or something.
That's
like
why.
that.
That's where I got the number. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, yeah, I can't help you. And then he calls Tony, who Tony is playing Santa for a bunch of kids.
Right.
And Tony wants Happy to tell a kid on his lap that Cap's shield is more than just a glorified frisbee. And then
I enjoyed that part there where, like, you see the Avengers in that department store, and
like, yeah, Banner and Clint at the same time, and Clint's trying to get this toy for his kid.
Right.
And Banner is like struggling with him at that point, and you're waiting for him to Hulk out.
Yeah, Banner's just like, he's like, dude, just give it to the kid. He goes, I can't. My wife said not for me not to come home without this. And I was like, wow, okay, that definitely sounds like a wife thing to say.
That is true. And then Banner winds up saying, hey, I'm super solstice winter low at this point. I can't deal with this. And I'm like, all the one-liners that they're throwing out within the movie or the
That's
episode.
the one thing I would say is they had a ton of one-liners on here that were great. Especially, I would say, when we start talking about the fourth episode.
Yeah.
That was just full of them there. But yeah, it had its funny moments. I mean, especially with some of those one-liners.
It was definitely geared for the family. It wasn't overt and over the top and wasn't adult oriented. So this is something that could be watched with the kids.
Right.
At any given moment. And the family could have fun with it. So I'm glad that they were able to do something. Yeah, it happened 9 days straight throughout the Christmas run or the holiday run at that point. So everybody could really enjoy it day by day. But, honestly, it sucks as a podcaster if you actually get to cover these things that they want everybody to talk about.
Right.
But unless you're doing that every day and that's your only job, you're great. But unfortunately, not for me. No, but I'm having fun talking about it now, even still. And I look back at it when I rewatch these episodes because I did watch them one time per
Right.
those days, and then I watched them again, and then I watched it yet again for the podcast just to have fun. And yeah, like any other human, I do miss out. Like Rob stated before, where I missed out. It's like, oh, she was dancing with a Hydra assassin, and she took out like 17 or 18 people. That's where I got the confusion in. But yeah, and then I just love how even still with the more references to other movies, Darcy saying Con Air, Under Siege. Then she's like, walking my mental blockbuster aisle. Happy, hey, John McClane, focus. And that's Happy saying John McClane, focus to
Right.
because he's trying to explain to Darcy what's going on in Avengers Tower. But it was so funny that she was rattling off of all these things that are going on in his perspective based upon movies. Like she mentions Con Air, Under Siege, which is so funny. But then, of course, she brings up something a lot of young kids won't remember: Blockbuster.
Hmm. Oh, the Blockbuster days.
Oh yeah, remember that? Well, Captain Marvel did blow into one back in 1996
Right.
in the original movie. So, but
Yeah, I thought it was interesting also that, and it was cute because she mentioned all these movies,
Mhm.
yet the movie that they're riffing on is Die Hard. But she won't mention that. And then when he calls her John McClane, it's more of the it's just reassuring that who they're ripping off here or paying homage to.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. It's like
Right.
they weren't gonna rattle it out there. I just love the fact that Justin Hammer using the Hulkbuster armor on Happy as he is all hulked out. I thought that was pretty cool. I really did enjoy that one.
It was nice to see the old Hulkbuster. So they've had like 2 or 3 different designs in the MCU.
Yep.
But the first Hulkbuster armor is my favorite.
Same here.
And I'm glad that they showed that one instead of like the later designs. But yeah, that one was actually pretty cool.
The last thing I would have would be the Avengers trying to take out Happy since they don't know what is going on. They think he's just somebody who's a villain. I thought that was a great moment. And then Natasha, of all people, realizes who it is during
Right.
the battle. And then Tony stopping the armor and Justin falling and falls out the window. Justin Hammer falls out the window without the armor, like Hans Gruber. So he's doing the whole fall thing.
Yeah, once they did that, I was like, of course they had to do that.
Yeah. And then Happy, of course, saves him, Justin Hammer, in the end, even though Justin Hammer's going to have to go to prison. And then Happy apologizes, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, you forgot to mention one that which was one of my favorite scenes is when Happy just lets loose on all the robots. And as he's destroying them, all you see is like oil being splattered on the walls, kind of like
blood.
It's like imagine if the Hulk actually went after real people and started tearing them apart. That's the carnage that you would see would be insane, and that's what this was.
Yeah,
and I kind of enjoyed that because I was like, oh yeah, I see what you guys are doing.
It's the animated way of getting away with gore with not being gore.
Exactly. So I was like, very nice, touche. I like that one.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool. It gives a little something for the kids, and it gives a little bit something for the adults.
Of course,
all at the same time. So with that's all I had regarding like favorite moments and thoughts. Overall, I really did enjoy the episode. It fulfilled my diehard needs for the holiday season as far as like an homage from Marvel Disney. And
right.
The fact that we got some really great voice actors, we got a lot of the originals. Now, mind you, we don't get Scarlett Johansson, we don't get RDJ, but we get everybody else. Which
And Chris Evans we don't get. So
Chris Evans,
yeah,
yeah.
it's those three major characters, and it's funny because I didn't even think that Chris Hemsworth would ever come back to this. But he did, which I thought was pretty cool. But that just kind of lets you know, because Chris Hemsworth did say that he was open to playing Thor again. But RDJ and Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson, those are like the three characters or the three actors that definitely said that they won't come back to the MCU.
True.
And Zoe Saldana also the same thing, where she will not come back now to the MCU also. So that's why I think that's why you won't see, like, if they ever do anything with Guardians of the Galaxy, and they have, but you won't see a lot of them come back.
No.
The only one, like, what's her name?
Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan was the only one that's, Nebula. She seems like the only one that really kind of
Karen
came
Gillan,
back.
Chris Pratt would definitely come back because he's contracted under Disney Marvel to fulfill that whole Star-Lord character. So
Right,
that's why at the very end of the last Guardians movie.
But that's kind of you know how that is. That might be wishful thinking.
It is wishful thinking, but the thing is, the way they left it off is that he could come in at any given time.
Correct. But that do they have a contract on him already or not? That's what we don't know.
That's a good question. But I know with Karen Gillan, she left it open that way.
Right.
Dave Bautista is not going to come back. I don't think Mr. Rocket Raccoon himself is not going to come back. Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, listen, if he would have been doing the exact same thing that all these actors did, which is sit down in front of a microphone.
Well,
and
well, that's what he got paid for.
Right. Just fucking, he could do that at his own house. It's like, all right,
Sean Gunn literally played Rocket. Bradley just gave the voice. So I give more props to Sean than I do Bradley. I love Bradley Cooper as an actor, and he's got the great voice for Rocket. Yeah. But Sean did a lot of physicality in it. And I'm not trying to kiss Sean's ass at this point, everybody. I'm just saying flat out. Maybe it's because I'm the person who loves suit actors or stunt people, and Rob's just like shaking his head and holding his head.
No, because I think what made it was Bradley Cooper's voice. I mean,
it does. But really, all he did was sit there. That's just like James Earl Jones with Darth Vader.
Okay, so tell me something. Hold on a minute. Now you see, now you fucking woke up the dragon. So I'm sorry, but there've been many people who have done the suit of Darth Vader.
Yes,
and James Earl Jones' voice is what makes Darth Vader.
That is true. I will guarantee you that. Yes, I would say I agree to that.
Because this is not performance capture in the sense, like, let's say Andy Serkis with a Gollum. That's a whole different story. Or doing Caesar, or when he did Caesar.
Yeah, in Planet of the Apes.
I mean, if what is it, James Gunn?
Sean Gunn.
Sean Gunn was actually voicing the actor also. Then I would have been like, okay, he became the character.
All right.
So that's how I see it, so, but sometimes the actor's voice
makes a lot of the character, is what you're saying.
Of course. Okay. Because listen, the thing is, like, I've listened to James Earl Jones for so many years, and his voice, and some people don't realize this, his voice changed.
Oh, it did.
From New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. When you hear his voice in those three, even though it is him, his voice is still different on all of them.
Yes.
I think his best voice has been on Empire. And then when George Lucas was trying to do, his little
prequels?
well, not prequels, when he did the special editions, where there was like some additional things with Darth Vader.
Mhm.
And there's one that says, "Bring my shuttle." Right? So Darth Vader in the original says just "bring my shuttle," but in the special edition, he says, uh, "Prepare my Star Destroyer for my arrival," or something like that. And when you hear that voice, that was somebody else. And you're like, yeah, that doesn't sound like James Earl Jones. You guys tried, but that's not him.
Yeah.
So when you're attuned to a certain person, that's why I think in the Obi-Wan show where it was James Earl Jones,
Yeah.
but it was James Earl Jones' voice being used through AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what they did was they went back to the Empire Strikes Back dialogue, because I was like, that sounds a lot more like
With the cadence.
with the Darth Vader from Empire.
Yeah.
Than
The
other
way he
ones did.
speaks, the cadence of the way he
So-
speaks. Yeah.
So it's sometimes, yeah, it's the voice. I mean, that's why I hated the fact that they changed Boba Fett's voice.
Oh, same
In
here.
the original, I thought he was really cool, and then all of a sudden they had this actor, what's his name? I forgot what his name is, but yeah, I it was just like that doesn't. They ruined that character for me. That being said, let's get back to this. Okay.
All right. I don't have anything else left off or any notes well, the only notes I was saying would be Justin Hammer saying famous last words, Hulk Hogan. And it was Happy Hogan. He's a Hulk now at that point because he was a full blown Hulk. So that was pretty funny. I have a few quotes. Hammer saying, "Cuffer, I'm sick of this chick roasting my chestnuts." And that was after she was talking to Happy on the walkie-talkie after he had injected himself with the Hulk blood. And then one from Darcy saying, "This is a Narnia for dorks." After Happy says, "You thought the doorknob was the main way in, didn't you?" And the last,
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
the last one I would have would be Happy with the Hulk blood. It's time for that hammer to get nailed.
Mm.
You know, typical heroic words from a superhero, or what we don't like to talk about with Black Adam. I need a catchphrase.
Yeah, exactly. No, they like I said, they had some really good one-liners that made it a lot of fun.
All right. Do you have anything else that you want to offer?
No, actually, you did a lot of the quotes that I would have probably said too. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, next up would be What If Season 2, Episode 4. What if Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster? So, with this, the synopsis is very simple. Tony Stark challenges the Grandmaster, leading to a Grand Prix turn Demolition Derby death match. And pretty much this is Death Race 2000.
Yeah. This is a lot of things. Death Race 2000, Mad Max Fury Road, Mad Max,
It could be Fury Road too.
Fury Road. It was what is it? Ben-Hur.
Oh yeah, because of the chariot. Yep.
Right. There's a lot of things on this thing that was like, okay.
Yep. So literally the way it takes off is, what if the battle in New York, Tony didn't drop through that hole after throwing the nuke or missile
Right.
to the alien ships, and then closing and sealing off that whole thing.
Yeah,
He
it
gets
closes
trapped.
it closes before he comes back to Earth, causing him to crash land on Sakaar,
Mm-hmm.
where he's forced to stay by its ruler, the Grandmaster.
Yeah. And the Grandmaster, as we know, we remember him from Hulk Ragnarok. Not Ragnarok.
Yeah. Thor Ragnarok.
Was it Thor Ragnarok? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we find out, and Jeff Goldblum basically reprises his role with voice. We get who's Valkyrie? I forget her name.
Oh, that's Tessa Thompson.
Tessa. Yeah. So she comes back as her character, and we get a
Taika Waititi comes back as
Korg.
Korg. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if Topaz came back. Oh yeah, she did. Rachel House.
Mhm.
I think she's the one that originally did Topaz in the movie. She came back to voice. Let me make sure of that. Hold on.
But it's pretty cool that you got a lot of these actors coming back and voicing their characters within these shows. We all know that Jeff Goldblum is who Jeff Goldblum is, and he'll do whatever he wants. You know, he's done the new Jurassic World movies. He's done his own stuff on Disney Plus. He did 2 seasons, I believe, of The World with Jeff Goldblum, I think it was called. It was interesting back in the day when they originally premiered it.
Right. So yeah, so the that actress Rachel House was the original Topaz, and she came back to voice that
Awesome.
character. Yeah. She's actually also coming out in Godzilla versus Kong: The New Empire.
Godzilla X Kong.
Yeah.
They can't say versus anymore because versus was the last movie. But yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
She's mostly been a TV actor.
Oh, so
So
she's broadening her horizons at least with the film, which is pretty cool.
she's about to come out in Time Bandits.
Wait, there's a new Time Bandits?
According to this, I knew that you were about to. According to her filmography on the television, it says to be announced Time Bandits, Fianna upcoming miniseries.
Oh no. Please don't touch my childhood favorite movie.
So that's interesting.
All
All
right.
right.
Let's move on. I don't want to think about it. All right. So basically, Tony gets trapped in this world. He gets trapped on Sakaar. Of course, the Grandmaster loves him. And the first thing he thinks of is, you're Mr. Metal Mojo Man. We've been waiting for you. Oh, we've been hearing all these cool things. Blah, 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 blah. And other possible names for Tony that were in the ether throughout the Sakaar would be Tin Man and Rocket Man, but they left it off at Mr. Metal Mojo
Right.
Man for
Well, I like the fact that when he first saw him, he says, "Oh, look at that porcelain skin. I should call you Porcelanis." Here's what I thought about this episode. So this episode, the great thing about it was the fact that they let Jeff Goldblum just be Jeff Goldblum.
yeah,
And they just said, just go.
just go with it. Go with
Just
it.
do your thing. It's like if Robin Williams was still alive and they told him, hey, so this is kind of the script that I want you to follow, but I know you're going to do your own thing. And you just record Robin Williams and you go, you know what? Everything he did was freaking perfect. Too bad we just got to use one segment of it.
Yeah.
I imagine the same thing with Jeff Goldblum, which is there's probably like hours of recordings of him
Of
just saying
outtakes that we could just listen
stupid
to.
stuff that you can listen to that are just amazing.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah.
I just love how it's like at that point the Grandmaster winds up befriending Tony in the beginning and introducing him to everything that's going on within Sakaar. We do get a distant view of it, but I didn't really get a good view of the I would say the castle, as it were, because back then we had like 4 heads that we could look at, and I always look because Beta Ray Bill was always there in the original one. I'm still looking out for Beta Ray Bill. I don't know
Yeah.
if he was on there for this
No,
one.
well, kind of, but it was not very well defined, is from what I
Okay.
saw. Because I was looking out for the same thing. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna have the same thing, and it was more of a kind of looks like it if you squint really, you know, a
guys,
lot.
Make it believe in your eyes.
Right.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. You know, it was a Death Race 2000, but animated based. So it's more of a car instead of what we got in Thor Ragnarok, where Thor winds up getting in the ring and Korg was telling him, it's like, oh, we battle to the death, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, gladiatorial.
Gladiatorial. But in this case, and this particular one, it's more, well, it's still gladiatorial, but with car racing.
Right. I will say, man, so one of the things I liked a lot about this was the designs of the cars were amazing. Like me being a, you know, a graphic designer, you know, by heart, as I looked at it, I was like, hold on. And I would pause the screen to see all these designs to see, you know, how good they looked. I was like,
Yeah.
it's pretty clever, man. I mean, they did some really great designs there.
Yeah, cool. And we get more Valkyrie in this, but the funny thing is, it made me chuckle. Just go over my notes a little bit. They throw hamsters instead of
chinchillas.
chinchillas. Well, I
Yes.
had that here too.
It's they were throwing cans and then they threw chinchillas, and because throwing food just seemed like such a no-no.
Well, the fact that they were in they were having issues with food. There was a food supply chain issue.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's okay to throw these little animals, you know. I was like, I said to myself, I was like, I wonder if PETA has anything to say about this.
Probably. I wouldn't put it past them, but yeah. It's like, all right, we're not going to talk about food, but but they're fake animals. They're animated.
Yeah.
And you know that somebody's going to have an issue with it.
Oh, of
Very
course.
much like with the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're animated. They're not real. I understand your feelings of animal cruelty and how it's projected on screen. I feel it. I understand it, but I know it's not real. What if they threw babies? How's that? Okay.
Well, they did in the Flash. They the Flash movie. All those
that's
babies
right.
got thrown out the window.
They got thrown
And
out the window.
and people still had a problem with that.
And it's like you can't win. You can't
No.
make
No, That's
even
why
if it's animated, you can't make a joke. And
no, and this is why I just say, honestly, screw everybody else. You know, people's feelings, and just do what's actually funny, and that's it.
it's funny for other people, and it's not funny for others. So you're not going to satisfy the mass populace with one joke,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
you know what? If it's not funny for you, then don't watch it. That's it. That's
Exactly.
All it is.
That
All right?
you have the opportunity. If you heard about it, hold on. Do you need to have the script ahead of you before you go see the film? But the thing is, it's like, just don't watch it. Put blinders on. But I'm not trying to like be against people that have these issues, but I understand their perspective. But moving on.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into a tirade. I just like to seeing Korg with Snuffy.
The chinchilla.
Yeah. I
That
just
they,
love that. Yeah. Yeah. He got like a little chinchilla right there. So come on. There was something good that came out of it. Korg, the rock guy, got a chinchilla.
He made a friend. One interesting one scene that I liked was the slow motion walk that they were doing.
that Korg makes them do.
And at first, you know, it's your typical, you know, slow motion walk of the heroes going out into battle kind of thing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But when Korg says, "I'm glad that you guys walked, you know, slow for me. I always wanted to do that." That made it even more funny because I was like, "Oh, so they were walking in slow motion on purpose."
It was intentional.
So what I liked about that was that when you go watch the scene again
Mhm.
and you see them walking in slow motion, if you look at the characters in the background,
Yeah.
they're in real time. which is something you didn't realize
until you look at it again.
until you see it again. So
another part that I really did enjoy was Gamora coming out at the end of the fight with a missile. Oh my god, it just reminded me of her with the big Gatling gun at the end of Guardians 2 against Nebula, where she had this big huge cannon.
right. But the missiles were on the car that she was on. I mean, she wasn't carrying it. But yeah, her character, it's interesting how Gamora in this one, she's like the same, she's bent on, being of service to her father and trying to be the favorite, and how Tony actually turned her, which was actually really cool. So
yeah,
I like a bit of her character here. I thought it was pretty cool. I also like the fact that just like in Guardians of the Galaxy, where when she tries to play tough and all that stuff, but somehow she always gets like screwed in either zapped by something or something to not show the audience out there,
to let her guard down.
No, not so. The fact that she is like, hey, this amazing warrior and skilled and everything, but you never see that much. What you see is she trapped the person that she wanted, and next thing you know, she gets zapped and now she's on the floor tased. That happened in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That is true.
That happens over here too. So like you never see her really, like the person that she's going after, really like come after him, because she always gets stopped. So
she doesn't finish the deed that she set forth.
She doesn't finish her fucking job, which makes her very bad at her job.
Well, she was supposed to kill Quill and get,
That's right. And then what does she do? She falls in love with him. What the hell? What? That being said,
I thought that was pretty cool. Other cool things that came out within this, Tony's new armor for the new race.
That was cool, actually.
That was really awesome. It was like a transformer, because he loses his chariot, and then next thing you know, his armor turns into a race car. So it's a transformer. And then at the very end of the race, when he wins, it turns it back into his armor.
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, like the wheels were not attached to the car.
Yeah.
They were, it was like some kind of electrical field or something like that it was, but it wasn't attached to the car, which I thought that was really cool. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, where did I see that at? But I don't know. Like I said, the designs of the cars were really cool. The armor was pretty cool. So I thought that was, I just, again, like, Tony wins the race, and then Grandmaster's like, well, it's a tie. And just like anything here, if it's a tie, it depends on me to break that tie. And I say, I win.
Because it's my birthday.
Yeah. So,
but that doesn't work out too, because what's her name? Winds up Topaz winds up crashing into him, and with the scepter winds up turning him into goo.
Yeah.
Which is what we've seen in Thor Ragnarok in the very beginning too, when the guy turned into like a sludge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's a callback to that, which was pretty funny. But in this case, it happens to the Grandmaster himself. And he was like, can somebody get a bucket? Can they get me together and put me there? Hello?
Yeah, like I said, I think these episodes have been, some of them have been fun. Some are a little too silly or something like that.
Yeah.
But like these two that we just covered, I think probably the silliest ones of them all. Excuse me.
Yeah, they would definitely put as
the comedic ones,
and tongue in cheek, just to have fun. But they're not to spoil anybody, but I'm sure all of you have watched ahead. But when we get to that towards the end, I would say 8 and 9 Well, no, there's 9. So 7 and 8. Those are a little bit comedic too.
What? Hella finding the 10 rings?
No, second to last then. That would be.
Okay. All right. So
That
the
would
Avengers.
be 8. 8.
Oh, what if the Avengers assembled in 1602?
Yeah, it was very Shakespearean, very comedic within that too.
Yeah, I would say that one too. I mean, was also, again, they had some really good ones. Some better than others.
Yeah.
I would say, and I would say that these 2 episodes, I'm not gonna say they're my favorite of the whole season, but they were enjoyable enough for me to, I laughed at it. And like I said, all the one-liners
Yeah.
that came out of them were just great. I did laugh out loud at some of those, but yeah, no, it's so far this series has been pretty cool.
Mhm.
And I think everybody agrees, or most people agree, that the second season much better than the first.
Oh, the animation definitely by far. As
The animation looked the same to
smooth.
me. It's just the stories I think were better.
Yeah.
It's what's unfortunate is that a lot of the original actors from the MCU
Mm-hmm.
did not come back for this season.
No, they didn't.
But the only one that I saw that did come in was, like I said, Chris Helmsworth, who was not in the original, I believe.
Mm.
So, as a matter of fact, let me double check on that.
What, on the original season?
Yeah.
The first season? Yeah, because we got Jeremy Renner,
Right.
Ruffalo. We got within this particular season, we did get Wanda herself. I'm forgetting her name. We also got Colby Smulders.
Oh, wow. No, you know what? Chris Helmsworth was Thor
Yeah,
in the original. Okay.
I thought so too.
I thought for some reason he didn't. It was somebody else, but no, I guess it was.
Yeah, when Steve and I covered it, went 2 years ago. Wow, it's 2 years, everybody.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when we covered it, I remembered that, and I'm like, I was questioning myself because it's been 2 years. I don't go back and re-listen to my podcasts. But the thing is that yeah, I remembered that Chris Hemsworth was very much involved with it. He was one of the few that actually showed up. Same thing. I think Samuel L. Jackson at one point did one for the first season.
He did. As a matter of fact, the only people that did not come for the second season, the first season, Carol Danvers was voiced by Alexandra Daniels instead of Brie Larson.
Yeah.
So
I remember that. But yeah, it's the fact that they do get a lot of the original actors in there. It's like, look, we got Lawrence Fishburne, for Christ's sakes, as Goliath in the second episode, and we got Michael Douglas as Hank Pym again, Haley Atwell. Like I said before, I'm forgetting the guy from Mad Men that did Howard Stark. I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah, can I tell you my problem with that second episode?
What is it?
So and I know that you already covered this, but
that's fine. Yeah.
My problem was the same problem I had with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which is Michael Douglas. When I grew up with Michael Douglas, Michael Douglas' voice.
Yeah.
As he's older, he's gotten that older voice.
He's got the gravelly voice like his father Kirk did towards the end. Yeah.
So, but the thing is that he was using his voice on a younger version of himself.
So it sounds like that old guy in a young body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, it threw me off a bit. I was like, okay. I'm not thrilled about this character portrayal here because of that. It's the same thing with like Indiana Jones when
Harrison Ford. Yeah.
They use Harrison Ford's original voice of that as he's old now on the younger version of him. And
they could have tweaked it. And he actually stated that in an interview saying, I had to go to a higher register at the time when I was younger in order to do that voiceover work because my stunt double and blah, blah, blah. I was like, you still sound like an old dude.
Yeah, it's like a high register. Why couldn't they just? Yeah,
I had talking about voiceover work because I am doing an episode of the Buffyverse podcast on Podcastica. I got to listen to the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer Audible that came out, and it has a lot of the cast. So Amber Benson wound up putting it out and putting the story together with her husband. And they had they had Charisma Carpenter, Anthony Stewart Head, James Marsden, the guy who played Clem in the show,
right.
a whole bunch of a lot of the original actors team back. But Anthony Stewart Head, of all things, I've seen him in Ted Lasso. He's older, yes, he's older.
Right.
And he was the Tea Time guy back in the 90s too, before he even got Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Giles. He always was older, but the way I had to think about it too as I'm listening to this audiobook. Why does he sound so out of breath? And I'm like, I realized it because he wasn't like that in Ted Lasso. If you listen to Anthony Stewart Head as he does
Right.
interviews, he's older. Yes, he's not a young man, but the way he portrays him in the audiobook, and I realized this, I'm like, he's just playing an older version of Giles. And I'm like, oh crap. But he kind of overdid it to the point where I'm like, why does Giles sound like a feebly old man? I'm sorry, Drusilla, but you can't do that. I just like, I listened to it and I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Right.
After I finished the freaking audiobook and I realized, I'm like, because I watched an interview with him not too long ago, and I'm like, son of a bitch. It's because I couldn't put it past the fact that Giles isn't like got to be like in his 70s.
Right.
Anthony Stewart Head's probably in his I would say 60s at this point. But even still, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm an idiot. but the thing is that when it came to Indiana Jones, like you said before, they could have dialed it down and make it a higher pitched or changed it, used a harmonizer within his original audio just to make him sound younger in comparison, because they could use his voice references from Temple of Doom and Raiders or even Star Wars, and then just utilize that. Same thing with Michael Douglas too.
The problem is that I think a lot of these actors some actors are, like James Earl Jones decided to sell his voice because he no longer could do Darth Vader. So be it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of these actors are so against that because of AI and all that stuff that they're like, no, you use me the way I am now.
Yeah.
And for me, it's more like, well, if that's how it's going to be, then I'd rather not even de-age the person. I'll just use a different actor.
Yeah.
So I think actors need to kind of, because think about it. If they say, oh, well, I would put it on my contract. Yes, you could use the voice of my younger self. You're still paying me the same.
Exactly.
Period.
But that's I think what came out of those strikes that were going on and the whole thing that was going on. I had a laugh and chuckle because my mother was going for physical therapy. I'm not going to say where, because where we live, James Earl Jones lived there. And she had the chance, and I had to sit there while she was getting physical therapy with Mr. James Earl Jones. And they were having a conversation, and he goes, and at that time, it was during the pandemic, he was saying how, Coming to America 2 is coming out.
Right.
And it made me laugh for the fact he made the joke at the time and I didn't really catch it. He goes, I was literally sitting on the job most of the time. Because he literally was laying down throughout the film.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He was saying that to his physical therapist. He goes, oh, you don't have to worry about me. In his typical James Earl Jones voice.
Right.
You don't have to worry about me. I'll be laying down on the job. And I was like, I'm like sitting on the other side in the waiting room hearing this conversation, and my mother was like, James, are you doing your legs? You really need to do your legs. And I'm like, holy shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. But the funniest was is that sitting there listening to him talk about that, because at the time he wasn't doing as much.
Right.
And I think at his age, he's paid very much what he's worth for being there, even for like 5 minutes, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And even for his voice. Now, I don't know how much he made for his damn voice, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah, voiceover work and acting. I think, of course, they. I don't know what the
Well, with the rights that he paid for, like them having the rights for it, and they have
I'm not sure how that works. Like, I don't know if it's like, hey, you pay for the rights, but I still get royalties or something for it, or is it, hey, I just gave my voice to you guys, and that is it. You guys own my voice from this point on.
Yeah, that's
it's
yeah,
like the it's
that
like the
better be a lot of money for the fact that
it's the Lucasfilm thing where, like, like Carrie Fisher said, I don't even own my own likeness.
Yeah, and they had a sex doll made out of Princess Leia too.
So wow.
Not to go into that, everybody, but I'm just stating that that's actually in her book, and then she actually has a live HBO broadcast of her One Night Woman show that she talks about that as well. But yeah, they I would like to know exactly what they paid for the voice, because that's longevity. It's like he can never come back out and say, I'm going to do this live. Well, we don't need you.
Yeah, exactly.
We have your voice, so it better be millions upon millions of dollars.
And that's going to be very interesting to see within the next few years, to see how this whole thing, like the strikes and how the whole thing with AI and how how it's progressing, and how the studios really didn't give in 100%, saying no, we'll never use AI. Their whole thing is like, no, we still have the option of exploring AI. But it'll be very interesting, again, to see what's going to happen in the next few years when it comes to that, especially with actors. And because honestly, if the families agree on it, it's like, sure, you want to bring back, I don't know, Cary Grant or Humphrey Bogart or whatever it is, or Elizabeth Taylor, and just do an AI version of her or whatever. And, sure. Like they did with, what's his name? Peter Cushing.
Oh yeah. With the likeness rights, and they had somebody with double with a mask, and then they kind of CG'd everything else.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a mask. It was, he was completely CG.
No. From behind. There was a whole behind, like, shot coming from behind with a silhouette, and that was a mask. That was an actor in a mask with the chin and everything. I looked into it. It was like, oh, okay. But the funny thing is, they couldn't get anything from like the knees down, and the reason why is because he wore slippers on set in Star Wars.
Yeah, but how you call it, in Rogue One, they showed him completely.
Yeah, but they had to factor in that there was an issue too. That I went deep dives into this because I'm a huge Rogue One fan, and I watched everything that came out about it, and they talked about that, how they couldn't get a full like head to toe version of him, because anything that they had on film, whether it be video or film wise, always was from the knees up. They couldn't get him his knees down.
Yeah, Grand Moff talking, you saw him coming into rooms and stuff like that. I mean, I think you're talking about anything that was a close up was more of, he didn't wear anything from his knees down or something, but
yeah,
they have full body shots of him.
Huh? I remember that them saying that there was an issue with that.
Mm.
That was it. But I thought it was funny. But all right. well,
Alrighty.
I think we talked a lot about this, and we kind of digressed towards the end about everything else.
Very true.
But the only news I would like to talk about, we've talked about this on your particular podcast, Rob, but we'll talk about it here. Jonathan Majors is no longer Kang the Conqueror or the person.
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't know.
I forget who he was in Loki. I keep forgetting.
Well, it's Kang, but what's his name? What's the other word they call him? Oh, the other name they call him.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking about.
Who has no name or something.
Well, yeah, no, those are people that I don't talk about in life, but it's Kang. Literally, he's no longer in the role of Kang or any version of Kang. So they're looking to replace that particular character, but they're also looking to replace who would be the villain within the Marvel Cinematic Universe from now on. Now, mind you, it's still somewhat early in the phase of Marvel when it comes to this, but yeah, the things are open. They're changing names of movies, and we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, that's about it when it came to the news. Everything went back into filming as far as Deadpool 3. So we could look forward to that, and hopefully that will save the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We hope.
I'm hoping. I really want it because if we all know Ryan Reynolds, he'll go over the top, and the first R-rated Marvel Cinematic Universe movie will be one that everybody will take their kid to.
That would be awesome.
But with that, we'll move on right along.
Oh, wait, there's one more thing.
Oh, good. Tell us.
Steamboat Willie is now is now public domain.
That is true. Steamboat Willie, everybody, not Mickey Mouse. Only the character Steamboat Willie from the silent film, black and white with the dots. It's a black eyes, black like kind of ears and stuff like that. You can't do Mickey Mouse. So Steamboat Willie, you could do whatever you want. And now somebody had already realized that, oh, the rights are coming up. We can make a horror movie. So what do? They release it at the time when the rights are up for Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, I saw that trailer. It's a stupid trailer, but it looks like it's made by the same people who did the Winnie the Pooh one.
Oh yeah, Blood and Honey.
Yeah,
and the mean one, which was the Grinch one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, there's one called the mean one, which was a Grinch version of a horror movie, and on top of that, they the way they did that one, it looks like the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch. The makeup,
right?
So,
oh, okay.
If you're into that, listeners,
if you're into that kind of stuff,
yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. A lot of people are blurbing about it on YouTube and on podcasts. So, yeah.
Okay.
But for that, we put everything in there for the feedback this week. Obviously, nobody sent in anything, which I understand. The holidays, we're just coming out of them. But for you to send in your feedback, all you have to do is go to our Facebook group, which would be facebook.com/panels to pixels. You could also find us on Instagram, which is attached to Facebook, which would be @panels to pixels podcast on Instagram. It's going to be the same posting, and we'll post an image and say, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And we could be emailed, as always. Just email your thoughts, panels2pixels1@gmail.com. Panels spelled out. Two is spelled out TO. Pixels and the number 1 @gmail. You could write yourself out a regular texted email, and we'll read it. Or if you want to just record yourself and then send it as an attachment on the email, we'll play it, and you could be part of the podcast itself. We could be found on YouTube And all you have to do is search Panels to Pixels podcast, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell. So that way you'll be notified when any time the podcast is up on YouTube. And like anything else, we could be found on Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player of choice. And with that, if there is a rating or review, please give us a 5-star review, because that is what gets us highly noticed out there. So I always tell everybody, be honest, but if you really love what we do and you feel that we're entertaining enough, please give us a 5-star and just write something in there, a little blurb. Just, write out Mark rules. I don't care. Whatever. Have fun. But other than that, where could listeners hear you, Rob?
You can listen to me on Fantasy Picks Movie Edition, where we take movies that were big budget films and failed at the box office, and we do reviews on those, and we also do our top 5 movie draft with that, and we have actually started also doing a segment reviewing and highlighting film composers.
Awesome. And as always, you could hear me here on Panels to Pixels podcast, as well as Adrenaline Cinema podcast. Right now, we're not sure. I'm trying to reach out for scheduling for Adrenaline Cinema podcast, but with Panels to Pixels, we're going to continue our What If coverage for season 2. We'll probably do an overall review of Echo when that comes out. So apparently they're going to drop the whole season in one day. So that way you guys could watch it just like we do, and we'll do a whole review of it.
That's on the 9th, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that at a later time, or just maybe in between What If. But, just check up on us on the facebook.com/Panels to Pixels, and we'll notify you, as well as Instagram. You could also hear me on Monarch for our coverage of Monarch on Wilhelm, which is a co-collaboration with Podcastica.com. So we're covering Monarch Legacy of Monsters for Apple TV Plus, for Wilhelm and Podcastica. So you could hear Ben and I cover that. Rob was actually on for the 4th episode, and we are going to complete that, I would say, within the next week or so. So check us out there and have fun and listen to us there if you're really into Godzilla like I am. Other than that, you could hear me on the Buffyverse podcast. I'll be on there for Homecoming, which is the title of season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So that's what we're going to cover. So other than that, I just want to thank everybody for listening. I'm Mark.
I'm Rob.
Thanks for listening. Different panel, different pixels, same podcast. This was Panels to Pixels podcast, and we will see you on the next panel. Bye-bye.